I will read to you a short story. Here we go. This wasn't supposed to happen. In the Bible, hell is a fire pit. But here, hell is the sound of my voice pleading with Lucia over and over to stop the car and consider, if only for a moment, that this is a stupid idea. That nothing good will come from this. At my behest, she makes a sharp left and parks across the basilica. It is 9 o'clock on a Thursday night. There is no one here but us and the gargoyles perched on the towers of Sacred Heart. And God, if you believe in him and his omnipresence. I haven't asked Lucia if she has a plan. Judging from the rise and fall of her chest, the high pitch of her voice, I don't expect her to string together any coherent sentences. She reclines the seat and covers her face with her palms. Andrea, she begins, I'm so sorry I dragged you into this. It's a little too late to be sorry. At some point tonight, there will likely be an Amber Alert buzzing every phone within a 100-mile radius, brown-skinned, curly-haired boy in a 2014 black Toyota Prius. Lucia doesn't have custody of Adrian, her son, not since the separation and the hearings and the battles that followed after our affair became public. The kid is strapped to the back seat wearing ape pajamas that I bought him a couple of weeks ago. Apes on skates, apes wearing helmets and elbow pads. I turned the radio to a smooth jazz station in hopes that the music will drown out the desperation in Lucia's voice. I don't want Adrian to wake up disoriented, asking why his mommy is crying and why he's not yet home with his dad. Lucia looks at me. You hate me now, she says, wiping her nose with the back of her hand. She's a sloppy crier, the wet shirt, snotty kind. I don't hate you, I tell her, but this is crazy. Why would you pick me up and not tell me that Adrian would be in the car and that you have no intention of dropping him off at his father's? For months now, she's been struggling with this new normal, with the idea that Joseph is the one that snuggles Adrian during bedtime on most nights, the one who Adrian cries for when his stomach is upset, when he's dropped a toy, when he wants yogurt or applesauce. I turn around to look at Adrian. His lips are parted, and his breathing is a little labored. For a few days now, he's had a rattling cough that morphs into a wheeze. Had the cough started a year ago, before the affair, Lucia would have taken him to the doctor. I look at her, but don't say what I think. I don't tell her that she's not a good mother, not even a decent one anymore. She's not the Lucia that I met at the office. Can we at least call Joseph, I say. She shakes her head. It's too late for that. He'll call his lawyer, and then I'll never see Adrian, and we can't do that. The we goes off like a gong. There is no we. There was never supposed to be a collective unit sharing common goals. There was me bored, squinting at the screen, and punching keys, tired of performing the same routine during work, of recoiling at every happy hour invitation, every bonding office retreat. And then there was Lucia, the office's mom, a pious woman devoted to her family, touched, starved, under the surface. I lift up to get my phone out of my pocket. Where are you going, she says, her hand on my forearm as if to stop me. Nowhere. My phone is wet from the sweat transpiring through the fabric of my tights. I wipe the screen with the back of my sleeve. Are you calling someone? Who are you calling? She says. I'm not calling anyone. I put the phone back in my pocket, I take a deep breath and smile. The basilica looms over us. I stare at it and remember a time when I dared go inside, and the rays of sun filtering through the stained glass felt like God was shining a spotlight on me, telling me I could still be saved, but only if I stopped looking at girls the same way I looked at boys. Lucia doesn't like the word affair, even though that's how it started, before spooling out and tangling into a mess that I can't get out of. Before it all began, I was bedridden with loneliness, with the realization that my world was an endless loop where I transitioned between work and home and nowhere else. Then the affair came. We started small, furtive glances across the office's open floor before I kissed her in her Prius, in the dim parking garage. It was obvious from the start that she was as sad as I was, that she too felt like she needed some iteration of love. On one of those nights, when we kissed ourselves into exhaustion, I asked her if she thought that we would go to hell. She was still on top of me, her thighs wrapped around one of mine, when she laughed in my face. She then asked me if I still believed in hell, if I thought it a real place where reverent souls go to burn. Before I could answer, She slid down, rubbing the dampness of her body onto mine. She kissed the trail from my neck to my navel, and I couldn't tell if maybe hell was real, or if I was still trying to figure out its form. Lucia turns up the heat and cracks open the window. It is cold outside, but like me, she is also sweating. I turn the heat back on and look her in the eye. Adrian's in the car, I say. I remind her. Lucia, I add, Joseph doesn't deserve this. He's not a good man, she says. You don't know what he deserves. Her words are flat and unemotive. They ring untrue. We both know she's lying. Joseph was neglectful. Sure, he didn't kiss her as she wanted to be kissed. He never made her orgasm, but he's not a bad man. Lucia, I want to start over, she says. We can start over and be a family. You and me. Adrian loves you. I love you. I love you so much. And I know you love me, otherwise you wouldn't be here, and we deserve better. Don't you think we deserve better? Don't you want a family? She reaps a hangnail from her thumb, but doesn't seem to notice the blood gathering on her cuticle. I take her hand and place it on my leg. We will have the family you want. I lie. But it can't be like this. Please, let me call Joseph. Just once, I entertained the fantasy that we could be a family. It came to me like an illustration in one of Adrian's picture books. The Newark sky was a brushstroke of sherbet flavors. Lucia and I stood before an endless horizon, and we pushed Adrian on a swing. He flew high, and when he returned to us, we embraced him. The fantasy receded like a wave of the shoreline. After, I never again imagined us together. I looked quietly for an exit sign in the dark, but the more I looked, the more Lucia built her life around me. The glow of that exit sign growing fainter and farther out of reach. The night Joseph found out, he told me I was going to hell. He stood below the underpass across from my apartment and he yelled the words right before the PATH train whooshed past. Somehow, he had figured out where I lived, and he had seen Lucia and I kiss on my balcony. There were other things he said, but those words were lost to the screeching grind of metal on metal, and the conductor announcing the train's arrival to Newark Penn Station. All my life, I've tried to convince myself that hell was a place like any other. I'd seen it and lived it through every day that I wake up dead inside. Every day I trudge my way to that office. Hell was living. But when Joseph said it, his words booming with conviction, I believed him. If there was a hell, it was for homewreckers. Lucia touched the side of my neck with the back of her hand. It doesn't soothe me. It reminds me that we're still here in this car, deciding, deliberating, waiting for something. This wasn't supposed to happen. Talk to me, she says. About what? About anything. I just can't stand that you're quiet. You're just sitting there. We need to bring Adrian back to Joseph before he calls you. It's not so fucking simple, she argues. She hits the steering with her left hand and accidentally honks the horn. Only then do I notice a man stop and stare at us from the distance. Lucia puts the keys back in the ignition and starts the car. She pulls onto Clifton, heading toward the highway, through the window. I notice the cranes and mounds of sand on the side of the highway, construction tools illuminated by strobe lights. Once, right at the start, when everything was new and exciting, Lucia and I met at the construction site of our new park across from the Prudential Arena. It too had been illuminated by lights and surrounded by sand. I watched Lucia climb the tractor. Her short dress billowed with the wind. Underneath, she wore nothing. Her brown skin glowed. She stretched out her hand and pulled me up, then asked me to trace my lips over her C-section scar. And when I did, she wrapped her hand around my ponytail and pulled me away and told me she loved me more than anything, more than anyone. It is 10 o'clock and we have been gone for 1 hour and neither my phone nor hers has gone off. The highway is clear, so Lucia is on the gas, steps on the gas, as if we decided on our destination. Her right hand shifts from the steering wheel to her silver necklace, which she tugs lightly. I want to think that we won't be moving much longer, that she is ready to drive back to Joseph's. I don't dare ask. When she asks if I'm okay, I tell her I have a headache. She looks at me frowning. I have some water back there. She lets go of the wheel to reach behind her. The car veers a couple of degrees to the right, and my heart jumps a little. If we crash and die, will hell be waiting for us? Would we have to burn together? Just drive, please, I say. Okay, I'm sorry, she says. Can you just reach and grab it? I turn around and grab the water, but instead I look at Adrian. Tonight, with his head resting on a travel pillow, he looks just like his mother. I try to imagine what he would look like 10 years from now. I don't see it. When I shift my gaze to Lucia and I try to imagine what she would look like in the future, I can't picture her either. I want to memorialize her in my mind's eye, but I can't see past this very moment. I grab the water. I struggle to conjure a different, newer version that isn't the frazzled, broken woman sitting right next to me. I take a sip. Do you have Advil? I ask. Maybe in my bag, she says. I reach for her purse and swivel my hand inside it. I feel a travel-sized bottle of Advil. The bridge is on the lid. I can't find it, I lie. Can you pull over at the store so I can buy one? Can you just wait a little? She shifts her gaze to me and merges to the middle lane. The car behind us passes us, honking his horn as he drives by. Okay, I'll pull over, she says. I watch the creases on the side of her face as she merges to the right. Though I don't have a headache, my eyes feel tired and dry. For the past few nights, I've been drifting in and out of sleep. In my haze, hell comes to me. I hear sounds, noises, like the sizzle of a steak on a hot pan, and as a reel, the air around me is inundated with the smell of burning flesh, a waft that chokes me and makes me cough uncontrollably. I've lied when Lucia asks if I'm okay. When she asks if I had a bad dream, I say I have not, because the heat that travels from the bed sheets to my thighs is real, and the sweat pulling at my neck is real too. Nothing about it is dreamlike. Except for a couple of truckers, the lot is empty. I pull my phone out of my pocket and place it on the dashboard. She looks at it and doesn't say a word. She doesn't need to. I can sense her relief in the way she caresses my thigh. Do you want anything? I say. She thinks about it. I don't know, get some snacks, I guess. She grabs my phone off the dashboard and tries to hand it to me. I don't need it. I'll be right back, I lie. I exit the car and walk across the lot. I don't look back at Lucia. I don't look back at her kid. Inside, the lady at the register gives me a nod and I wave hello before counting to 10 and opening the door on the opposite side of the store. There's a Walmart straight ahead, packed as always. To my right, shipping containers line the parking lot. There, the lights are dimmer, and just behind them are the marshes, tall grass in the middle of the city, seemingly sprouting out of nowhere. I make a run for it, until the ground beneath my feet is no longer concrete, until my feet sink into the earth and the water reaches my knees. Hell is wet socks. Hell is a patch of Jersey swamp. Thank you.
Y'all, that was Annell Lopez. Check her out on the Instagram. Annell the Book Babe. And on Twitter, I think it was, Annell Lopez too?
That's two.
All right. Had to double check the sequence of our lineup. Mimi Ayers. Mimi Ayers, born in Chicago, raised in St. Petersburg, Florida, traipsed across the country, and now calls New Orleans home. She's an MFA Playwright graduate of the University of New Orleans Creative Writing Workshop. Mimi loves writing stories based on family, history, and fantasy. Her plays are as eclectic as her stories and her poems. Two new plays written and workshopped with the CWW have had staged readings in New Orleans, Man to Man at the Valiant Theatre, and Circus Tails at the Always Lounge and Theatre at St. Claude. Man to Man was a semifinalist in the 2019 Austin Film Festival and Writers Conference. One of Mimi's short plays, Man Down, can be seen streaming as part of the 2020 Columbus Black Theater Festival. Mimi's first script, Eulalie Mandeville, F.W.C., was published this year in the ARTemis Arts Wisdom Anthology, a collection of plays. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, go ahead. Very cool. Which is a collection of plays and screenplays written by women over 50. Let's hear from Mimi.
CWW? Yeah. UNO?
Listen, I'm going to do 3 short pieces. One is a play that I upbooted this year with the Dramatists Guild interplay thing to a musical. Okay. So it was called Circus Tails, that was performed here, or we had readings, and now it's a musical. So it's called Circus Tails the Musical. The other, oh, I don't think I need it for this one. My thesis play, Eulalie, no, it was Defending Eulalie. Defending Eulalie is about a free woman of color in the 1845. Okay, and then because I love that woman so much, I did a film script about her. So I'm only doing the intro to each one of those plays, scripts, and musical. So Circus Tails, the musical. I want to tell you the cast of characters.
Be quiet, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. the chimpanzee, 20s acrobatic. Eleanor, a mother elephant. Teddy, Eleanor's calf. Chase, a liger, that's a combination liger, lion and tiger. Axel, the older brother, lion. Camila, camel. Age and sex indeterminate. Justine, a big black bear. Bathsheba, an evil old in dog years bitch. And it could be a rat terrier or a Labrador mix. No offense to those who. So the place is inside a circus tent outside a small town in North Carolina. And the time is early spring 1955. Don't want to trip here. Here we are in the big tent traveling circus. You come to the right place to be entertained. What's fun for you could be torture for us. But you want to be happy. Forget about our pain. Don't think about that. Don't think about that. We've got elephants, monkeys, lions, tigers, and a bear. From places near and far, we come from everywhere. All trained just to please you, but you better beware. Wild animals have been known to go outside the rim. But don't think about that. Don't think about that. This is the life in the big tent traveling circus show. What you can't see, you don't really need to know. Where we stay, where we lay, where we sit, where we eat rotten meat, and we're clean and dressed in time for you to see us. When they open the cages, it looks like we're having fun until the act is over. But don't think about that. Don't think about that. Our lives are not our own. Just what we think or what we feel. Don't think about us. I'm not going to think about you. Don't want to be ya. Don't even want to see ya. Eleanor! That's the elephant that comes in. So, Defending Eulalie, as I said, was my thesis play, and it's not many people here that know this, so you haven't seen it, but we did a very extensive rewrite with the Radical Buffoons, and I had my last reading last Monday with real actors, and it's really great when you have your play and you get your feedback and you get to rewrite and rewrite and rewrite. God, I've been rewriting this thing so long. and this will not be the last time because I wasn't quite satisfied. So, Eulalie Mandeville, this is taken from a state Supreme Court trial, inheritance, where her white partner's relatives tried to say that that was their money. So, imposteurs, alors, you claim to be the rightful heirs of Eugène McCarthy. Did any of you even know him? I think not. Peut-être in this courtroom you may persuade the Honorable Judge Cannon to know you, but not like I know you. In name only you may be related to mon cher Eugène. Over 50 years we lived together, made our way together. In the beginning, we did not always sleep together. Maybe we made our way together. But my bed was always his and his alone. I bore him 7 children, 5 still live to honor his name. He claimed them all. Go to the cathedral, see for yourselves. Written in their baptismal records, their father's name, Eugène McCarthy. Some of you may bear the McCarthy name. By marriage, perhaps. Distant relatives. You show your faces now only to make this claim against me. You are strangers to Eugène's and my children. They know none of you as family. Pardon? They do know their uncle, their papa's brother, Nicholas Theodore McCarthy. Where are you, my devoted brother? Nico came to our house, one hand hidden behind his back, leaving both hands stuffing his pockets. But he dare not face me now, bringing these charges against me. No longer will he be called cher Uncle Nico. He is no longer dear to them. They know him now as I have come to know him and as I have come to know you. Legal heirs. Ah! Vous ne lui connaissez non pas. No. You did not know mon cher Eugène. You did not even know him. Thank you. Yeah. I really will need these glasses for this because I am reading this. This is the film script and it's in really small print. And like that was actually based on an actual case. This is called just Eulalie Mandeville, F.W.C. F.W.C. means Free Woman of Color. And it's inspired, different space, inspired by the ownership trials of Eulalie de Mandeville, a slave trial. Caption. In 1815, New Orleans had the largest colored population in the United States and the largest concentration of free people of color. It is 12 years since the Louisiana Purchase of 1803. The Code Noir, that's the black codes, decrees that non-European women, even free women of color, that's F.W.C, must wear the head wrap known as the tignon. Exterior, Rue de Man, New Orleans, day. Sturdy, graceful white feet of a lady squished through the muddy road leading towards the river. A steamboat whistle blows in the distance. Bare brown feet and legs of children run across her path. Dark brown feet of her slave, Suzanne, follow close behind. Wagon wheels trudge through the rutted road to keep on course. A black man rides one of the 4 donkeys, pulling a wagon almost overloaded with several bales of cotton. Vendors and people of every color, size, and dress crisscross the road, hawking and buying goods. Eulalie de Mandeville, 40, holds up her chin and the hem of her lavender muslin cotton dress higher above her feet. A darker lavender drapes around the bodice. Her pale, smooth skin glows. She wears the tignon like a crown. There's a pencil tucked in a fold of the lilac taffeta fabric head wrap. Getting closer to the riverfront, a cacophony of calls and greetings in almost every language calls out to Eulalie. Bonjour, ça va? And buenos dias as she passes. Many give way as she responds and greets them in their language. Bonjour, ça va? Buenos dias. She rounds a corner walking towards the river. Exterior, Rue Saint-Pierre, day. Carriages and wagons pass. Steamboat whistles blow louder. We see tops of sails and upper decks of boats. A voice in the crowd. Bonjour, Madame Eulalie. A plainly dressed brown-skinned woman, Suzanne, 30s, carrying a large basket with a smaller one on top, steps from behind Eulalie and stands by her side, protecting. She carries 2 baskets, both filled with rolls of colorful fabrics with ease. Betty, 20s, a darker brown-skinned woman in a plain muslin dress and sash, takes a step back from Eulalie. Bonjour, Betty. Do you have more laces? Oui, madame. Yes, I have many. Betty displays her laces on the rim of her basket. Eulalie makes a selection. I will take this and this one and all of this. 5 pesetas. Madame, say, sis, please. These I made myself. Betty, tu le sais, no sais. Ils sont 5. Oui, madame. D'accord, 5. Eulalie hands the laces to Suzanne and counts out 5 coins in Betty's open palm. Merci, madame. Then Betty goes off, hawking her wares in French and Spanish. Les 6 cordones, handmade laces. Exterior, wharf, Mississippi River, day. Steamboats, paddle and sailboats, schooners, all kinds of boats splash along the wharf. The sun blazes over black men in chains. They are led down a gangplank of a flatboat by a white man with a whip. Brown and black colored men load bales of cotton onto another flatboat. And that's all for now.
Our next reader is Isaac George Lauritsen. Give it up for Isaac. All right, Isaac George Lauritsen is a writer and illustrator. His work can be found or is forthcoming in Bennington Review, Hash Journal, Hobart Pulp, Muzzle Magazine, Red Rock Review, Sidereal Review, Tilted House Review, Ayo! Timber, on a broadside from Octopus Books and elsewhere. I said octopus with a P. I said octopus. Octopus with a P. Books. And elsewhere, he graduated from UNO's MFA in creative writing in the spring of 2021. He is fresh off the press. He lives in New Orleans. He also has a cat that is very cute. Give it up for Isaac.
All right. Yeah, so I'm gonna start with this story, and then I'll jump into a couple poems. The story is called "The Advantages of Being a Desk." I began my day at the office attempting to scooch so far into the desk that it would envelop me. Though I couldn't imagine the entirety of the process, I was convinced that the desk would look the way invasive vines look when they overtake a sidewalk, a street sign, or someone's stagnant car. When I considered the processes of the wilderness, I found it to be an utterly evil thing. But that's not how I thought of my desk. I loved my desk. I loved its stability. It always appeared where I expected it to upon my return. and I could put so much on top of it. My couple Folgers, my dual monitors set up at the perfect height to avoid a crick in the neck, and the photo of my moon-soaked wife, all my pens and highlighters in a cup awaiting the arrival of my hold. So throwing my tie around my shoulder, I unbuttoned my shirt and began to push my belly against the desk. At that point in my life, I had appeared unrecognizable to myself many times. I was required to type up documents with such fervor that my hands often appeared more spider-like than human. I had been so inarticulate at times that I had mistaken my tongue for a slug. The fact that I knew the exact number of times I had said oops made me believe my brain was a software for collecting data, and my fear of losing all my money appeared to me as a big cultural ghost. Some nights, with the office emptied of its occupants, I'd do handstands on the desk, and with blood filling my head to pressurize my brain, I felt like something completely other than myself. My legs waved like a plant, the ground sprawled forward in fluorescent lights. Supplies looked like frozen birds in the carpeted sky. As I began to shorten in stature with my abdomen enveloped first, I bent backwards like a half sheet of paper inserted into a thin mail slot. On the other side of my cubicle wall, Cindy performed a major copy job. Since this was my first time being enveloped, I was unsure if my body made noises. If the disappearance of my bones made a sound like the crunching of molars on hard candy, I couldn't hear it over the sound of Cindy's copy. "Great work," I said to Cindy. She said nothing. Then a large tangerine rose above my cubicle wall like some sudden sun rising in my private horizon. She launched it. It squashed against my forehead, then pulp rained down my face. Later in the morning, the only parts of my body that remained were just above my chest and below my hamstrings. I balanced my keyboard on my chest as I had become mostly horizontal. I clicked open a chat box, typed, "That was a good tangerine. Can I interest you in the remaining pulp?" and sent it to Cindy. In the left bottom corner of the box, an ellipsis moved in a wave of dots, small to large, gray to black to gray to black. Then her message appeared, an emoticon of a woman dressed in a virtual purple, crossing her arms in front of her face. I laughed. I couldn't help but find this small world where a person fends off words of her same size with an X of the arms to be funny, and for a moment odder than the unfolding situation. I typed, "I'm being enveloped by my desk. I'll be gone soon." Sent. I watched the ellipsis speak for her thinking. Then her message, "What about Joan and the kids?" I typed a few words, deleted them, typed others, and deleted those too. I typed, "Does it matter? You say Joan and me fight and that's it and that's all? That I should go and stay with you for a spell till I found a condo of my own," and sent. Her ellipsis waved quicker that final time. "Tell me the truth and tell me it straight. Is this whole business of envelopment because she suspects something?" Then I lost my shoulders and my mobility to respond. In my first instance of misrecognition of self that I can remember, I was 4 and realized my face belonged to me. Until that point, my sense of self, if there existed one at all, was defined as an endless series of activities that belonged to the world in which they took place as much as they belonged to my body. My face, looming new and other in the mirror, baffled my 4-year-old brain, which commanded me to use an index finger to prod cheek, forehead, and nostril, which I stuck the finger in because I knew no better, and found that all this, I'd never not once escaped. Word had spread through the office of my day's decision. Many heads appeared above my cubicle wall. I couldn't hear much of what they were saying as my ears were halfway gone. I heard Carl from accounts compare my condition to a poorly packed suitcase. Tanya from marketing said she would report me as medical news. They sounded watery and muffled. I realized I would miss my eyes. I looked at the photo of my wife and thought right at it. I had lost my hands before lunch, but I could remember the shape of the camera in them in a time when all I wanted was to be the very chemicals that held her bright and washed out face. And then it went black, and with my mind the final unenveloped thing, I hoped to have a bit of time in this solid state with my wife before my replacement arrived. Yeah. All right, I'm going to jump into a couple of poems here. This one's called Advice for Public Speakers. You can make a person as excited as a dog at things as normal as the name Steve. You just need to work you just need to turn 30 minutes into 16. Work your word machine towards feeling before their heads turn into mist as a way to no longer know their knowing. If you don't know what to say next, recall the government and all they sneak between the teeth of announcements. Converge with hypotheticals as if they're welcome parties for space vessels. Say, welcome to this building warped in streamers of history. Who stacked wires in the walls? What warm cave of mystery are you stoked to inhabit? Where in the Neolithic past did I lose the period to a thought? Comma, if you say all the phone light looks like it's humping the cold blue sky, a podium becomes the sole shield to save you. It's okay. The more the might of failed jokes looms above you, the more they want to understand themselves. They clamor like amphibians to get there. They let go of their private thrash. They levitate their wows along the way. This one's called Pelican Plight. A river dropped into my house to grow feet in the basement. I saved my closest reaches, wooden clogs, woolen vests, as the scene grew a laundry room of pelicans twiddling tails. I was sunk, blinked at. I thought pond at the wrong water. Young and not much else but a poor fit in brother's clothes, I plowed about the days, dragged myself to nights where webbed walking and walls hunted me. Unconvinced and smirking, the household. I resolved to eat sugared grapefruits and yell the clumsy anthem of wily birds. All I was child. All I had was words. Bold. With its clatter came squash fruit and my proof of the pelican presence, scattered by Gregory's pounce. The cat, an agent of ancient loneliness, leapt as I left behind the words which might have wrangled thoughts for another. The pelicans slipped into the sky. The sky slipped into a secret. I stayed, went about the homework for 50 months, forked apple pies, sliced away at the vicious solitude of childhood. This one's called River Blisters. Then robed in donning Birkenstocks, the word lets from its beard directives of fish-infused stew to river keel the tale of parishioners. Our parents, steeple-tall, ripped-on Folgers, Lutheran cha-cha, spread sunshine on our rye bread to divinate the ice cream. We depart as scars, parkas stuffed with styrofoams of casserole into the lamp-posted night. There, the siblings toss sleep, their love a thrashing wren. Soon as we get cozy as a minivan, potholes lunch on snow, so mom sings our cartoons to blip. We shenanigan, revolt with teeth and think us our ancestral cats. We scope out plastic-shaping eggs the rabbit lays. We fry the bees we battle with tennis tools and rat. Spring, the berry of our breeze joy, sprung up an afternoon by Sandy's crumbed at corner lip. Oh, sugar, your law. We deep nap on dog recliners, wake up older as if time's the fiction of a book. Our throats pound cans. We beer hew. We whiskey neath the yard magnolia. We get grocery bagging, pinch pennies so as to later green our brains. We leery hear fate's stony speech. Come gather, you steamed warp baseball gloves, all ye who lawn your dreams. The mowers won't till dawn mow. This is a short one. It's called Brief Time Tangle with Tangerine. Why have I not spun on my thumb a tangerine today? Why have I not been apeshit to a pith? Why have I not teethed a citrusy thread? Why have I not noshed a sweet vesicle till I look danced? Gosh, the present dithers in this living room sloppy with the mammoth past. I'm cloud to how the future is only ever motorized by the groaning belly of the youngest moment. All right, I got just a couple more. This one's called Humans. I grow up. I wear sweaters and talk to telephones. I greet lives and am greeted. Someone named Mari makes the rest of the world feel like fog. Then love fits in a kitchen. We crunch light with eyes to feed our brains. We are cartwheels to each other. Then love gets humongous, stretches back in time to when we were small and lonely. Then moms and dads over bowls of spaghetti. My arm, the inky cloud of father prods, and I fall into it. How long do we run from fathers? I thought mine was a gun. Love for a father blames. Love for a father is love that grieves. Then, aimless in the grocery store, I walk and have things. Evenings on the porch, I snag a dog's bark from the air with thumb and finger of the mind and peel it like a blood orange to hear dogs talk about how their blood stands still when ghosts drag sticks against fences. I announce each night my time for bed. All right, I got two more. This one's called In the Nature Store. It winds aimlessly, a wilderness of perennial shoes in a green that exhausts my personhood, though I've consumed too much caffeine. Where's my heart? Right here, flocking towards you, as you appear from an aisle, as if it's a cave, and you have forged a button to push a cuticle. And in this small movement, which makes you, undeniably you, makes my brain a caveman, me bonked with glad. I wish I could present to you a bird. Instead, I'll buy the store's inventory of moss and make a couch for us to bask in the TV's glow as if it's the sun we're under, on a beach, and we're the sand. And before this, we were rocks, and as rocks, we came from the greatest mystery, which at this very moment is the oldest it has ever been. What am I talking about? You would rather me not say, but it feels like inventing fire together as it begins to snow. All right, I just got this last one. This one is called If You Are Planning to Be Born. If you are planning to be born, you will have on you the eyes of parents tranced in endless looming, who you will deliver this message of 4 flailing limbs to. These moves I bust to convince myself of myself. Walking will seem at first a spill, like a word tumbled into ears, and the names you remember are ways to speak favorite faces. The air is hands and a nose is hands too. All of you as entrance points for colors that swirl you into thinking that fog is a walking bear on a distant piece of lake. Only once you grow into a standard size of jeans will you wish to have not been born. If you're with your headphones, a song helps forgive the field of ghosts that carried your past into the wish. No one can be sure of anything, but no one will not tell you that. Not even the planet, who defines itself on the assumption of hydrostatic equilibrium, uncertain of its own math. Who knows? Even the clouds linger. Even the trees sling a hope of green. Trust all flora tell the truth. The oddest of all fauna is the groomed. They arrive humongous with data. They roll in dependable metal away from their homes, which you should not mistake for dog songs unless you truly want to live. Thanks.
Every time I hear Isaac read, or whenever I get to read his work, my mind explodes a little bit. And I know that that happens to multiple people in the room, because I will not name this person, but in the middle of Isaac's reading, this person went, "Oh my God." Okay, it was Jeremy. Jeremy did it. Yeah.
Henry Goldkamp performs his life in New Orleans. Work appears or is forthcoming in Yemassee, Denver Quarterly, Idaho Review, Diagram, News House, the Minnesota Review, and Best New Poets 2021, among many, many others. So many others. More and more at henrygoldkamp.com. Henry, come on up.
got a belt. All I'm going to do is introduce myself to you. You introduce, quote unquote, yourself to me. And we'll just kind of see how it shakes out, okay? Okay. All right. One last. All right. Okay. Thank you for coming. My name is Henry. This is Joy Buzzer. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, Henry. I'm Supply and Demand.
Supply and Demand. Everyone! Here, take a rose. In the back. This guy definitely needs a rose.
I don't want to give it to.
Shoot! Never can have enough of them, can you? Oh well, there will always be a shortage of roses in this place. Now, give that rose to someone you love. Or who, based upon the looks of things, you could theoretically love. Take your time. Oh, geez, I should mention the thorns. I think it's pretty common knowledge, but let's cover it anyhow. Every rose has its thorn.
Not this
Cowboys also sing sad songs, but more importantly, for our current purposes, what we need to remember, every rose has its thorn, so, handle the theatrical properties of love carefully. Thorns are sharp, can prick the skin, sometimes a little blood comes out, minor injuries really, but still, good to have a refresher. To be honest, I assumed your lover would have warned you about the thorns, but that's alright. I'll warn you as a basic legal disclaimer. Not like you guys and me are lovers together, but I did warn you about them and nobody else said anything. And I carry band-aids in my wallet just in case things like this happen, but neither here nor there. Okay. There now are some people in this room without roses, and then some who never even touch them. Let's take a moment for the lonely, if you don't mind. You can even give one of them a sad look if you want. Go on, purse your lips a little bit, kerfuffle the brows, tut the tongue. Mind you, everyone has noses. Rude to take those, though. Many, many noses with an organized proclivity toward roses, sprouted from the big ear of Earth for years now. To boot, everyone's face is stupid biodegradable. Don't get too depressed about that, because see, if we were to collect all of the roses in a single classy vase, we could have something nicer to look at. We could have ourselves an orgy of roses on a local level. And we could maybe all be looky-loos in a room together, sniffing the same air, perfumed by lung and rose both, this biological bouquet buffet. We all have flower food in our wallets and our hearts. And then if we proceed down this line, they could maybe live a little longer on the water. Though technically, the botanical term for it would be more like, we might help them die a little slower. Can we slow those roses? Those lonely? Up to you. These are yours to keep. Consider them a gift. Those roses. Those lonely. Hi. Oh, you're long. Hi, I'm Henry.
You're poetic.
I only like poets that smoke weed and get drunk, man.
Cheers.
Specifically, get drunk with their bodies. Smoke weed with their bodies. Because this leads you down the road to very foundational realizations. Like, you see with your eyes, and you touch with your hands, and you run with your mouth. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm the grass man.
I don't know how to explain it. Every time I scoop a zip from you, I just feel so safe. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Zealotry.
Zealotry! Only God can tell me, go fuck myself.
Go fuck yourself.
Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Big Cuck Energy.
Big cuck energy.
Well, someone else can now.
I'm so frustrated, the sky hasn't swallowed me whole yet. Nasty quick. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, professionalism.
Confessionalism. I have no problem masturbating to mommy porn. But I draw the line, it's stepmom porn. Because my stepmom was much more of a mother to me than my mother, who was mostly absent. And as the saying goes, absence makes the heart grow harder. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Southern Baptist.
Oh. Hi, Southern Baptist.
Goodbye.
Fake podcast.
I love Jesus so freaking much, I want to slit his Achilles and throw my mouth around the wound and reach way up there and rip his head off and then shotgun the lamb's blood straight to the Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Community.
Community. Let's all get matching submittable tattoos. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I am New Orleans.
Oh.
I say mosquito, you say moscato. Mosquito?
Moscato.
Mosquito?
Moscato.
Let's call the bull think golf. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hey, I'm the AT&T guy.
Thank you for your service. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Jed.
Hang on, Tenpenny. Allow me to finish my task. I gotta hammer the ore to the river. At the very least, let me spit in the book so I don't lose my place. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm anti-poetry.
Oh.
It's not what's on the page, it's who you just got off the phone with. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Sobriety.
Sobriety! Okay, psycho! I'm hunting. Hi, I'm Henry. Oh, stand-up tragedy. Talking to you the whole time. So my best friend dies, right? And I'm at his funeral. And we're having a fine time, smoking cigarettes up front, whatever. And we go in. And I bump into his mom in the sacristy. And I say to her, I'm so sorry. John was so good. And she says, oh, Henry, words can't describe the pain that I feel. Words can't express huge. It's adequate. And I was like, excusez-moi, I write elegies? Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Revision.
Oh. Start the show over. Step off the stage.
The Peace and the Peacemaker.
The peace always wins. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Dad.
Your imaginary girlfriend?
My imaginary girlfriend. My therapist seems to think we have some sort of codependency problem. So I handed her my copy of Emerson's Self-Reliance. Hi, I'm Henry.
How are you doing? I'm your greatest disappointment.
I've never witnessed a miracle. I've never witnessed a miracle. I've never witnessed a miracle. Oh wait, yes I have. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm a conflict of interest. Conflict of interest.
Theater is all about the activation of a space.
You failed.
Like a gunfight. Stonewalling me. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm Ashley Madison.
Ashley Madison?
Yes.
I don't remember you being this cute in grade school. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm a high hope walker.
Ooh, okay, all right. We got there's a lot of interactivity here. High Hope Walker here. All right, it's just a simple game of telephone. We already kind of have rows, so that's great. So just stop it after about 5. Start here. There's just 5 little sequences here. Okay, so you ready? Go. Great. All right, keep send it down line. Somebody held on? Keep it moving. All right, stop. All right, who's got the number 1 line? What's it say? All right, everybody raise your hand if you're the one that is in it right now. You're in it? We got 5 total, right? Who's in it?
I'm in it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Number 1, what is it? Keep your hand raised, I gotta see it.
1.
Raise this up.
1? Terrible. There is nothing
War and Peace.
we can do
World peace.
to stop this.
You put words in my mouth.
Who's got this? There's 2 more.
Just lost.
World being. Who's the 5th? Who's the 5th line?
What you just said. Waking up.
Dude.
Terrible.
terrible.
Dude.
So you kept it. Okay. Well, we'll workshop that one out. Won't we? All right. Hi, I'm Henry. Oh. Hi.
I am okay.
That's really interesting. Thanks for having me. Hi, I'm Henry. Oh yeah, let me get my script. Hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, Emily Dickinson.
Emily Dickinson! Wow. No, see, for me, it's physically decapitating my friends, family, and enemies quickly enough so as to not be caught, you see, and placing their messy heads on sticks around my starter home, and reading them my faves with their eyes stapled wide open. This is the only way I know.
Good home, man.
Hi, I'm Henry.
Me? Him. You? Sure.
Oh, hi, I'm Henry.
Hi, I'm modernism in the 21st century.
Hi, excuse me for one moment.
No, you cannot leave.
I'm so sorry. It really is still in the room.
I don't know. It's more fun. Can you go to the bathroom?
Simply to root myself in the tradition, I'd like to recite an excerpt from T.S. Eliot's lesser-known poem, Hysteria. As she laughed, I was aware of becoming involved in her laughter and being part of it, until her teeth were only accidental scars with a talent for squad drill. I was drawn in by short gasps, inhaled at each momentary recovery, lost finally in the dark caverns of Okay. We can move on. I was looking for the oneness of the world. Hi, I'm Henry.
I'm the oneness of the world.
The oneness of the world. Bestiality is halfway normal when you think about it. All right, I think that's my time. We'll do. I don't know. I'm looking for an ender. I'm just looking for an ender.
The one that Cam has on.
Who? Hi, I'm Henry.
I'm the Richard Bain.
He ran.
Let me in.